Hello, everybody. And let me make sure actually really quickly that my AirPods, see, they're not connected. I could tell I wasn't getting the sound. Hello. I am Stephanie Dreyer. I am vegan mama in a non-vegan family and the founder of Batch Cooking Club. We are here for our weekly live planning party. This is where we get it done so that we don't have to think about dinner again until next week when it's all planned for us. I'm going to invite you to grab your favorite beverage. I actually have some wine today because it is a party and we're going to, hopefully have some fun, and invite you to grab your calendar. If you're a member and you have our weekly plan for the week, please download that. And if you are not a member, you can go over to batchcookingclub.com and try us for just $1. So at your leisure, go ahead and do that. You don't need that necessarily right now, but I am going to help you set up your meal planning 3 tasks for the week. I'm going to help you plot out a plan for what you're going to serve for dinner every night next week. And I'm going to help you do a prep plan for the weekend that takes just about 2 hours or less. And we're going to do all of that in about 20-ish minutes. So I'm going to kick it off and first invite you to grab your whatever you use to schedule your meetings and block out half an hour to do your meal plan for the week. And if you're joining me now, you might not need any other additional time, but if you do think you're going to need to have some follow-up after this, you want to block off some time to do that. I typically do it on Thursdays after dinner and my kids and family are settled. And then the next thing you want to set for the week is a date to grocery shop. And I do that on Fridays after work. And for me, I'll just share with you what I do. Since I do my meal plan on Thursday nights, my meal plan for the following week starts Friday and it goes to the following Thursday. And that actually builds in. Thursday for me is kind of a day I usually serve leftovers so that I can clean out my fridge, take inventory of my freezer and my pantry, and get like a recon sort of the week. So that is my schedule. And like I said, then I hit the store Friday afternoon after I've already gotten the plan together. And then the last task I want you to put in your calendar is a 2-hour, 1.5 hour to 2 hour time slot to do your meal prep or batch cooking. And if you're following our plan, it will never take you more than 2 hours, and usually somewhere between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. And for me, I typically do that on Sunday or Saturday mornings, mid-morning, and get my 4 to 6 recipes prep for the week and to speed up those dinners during the week. So everybody go ahead in real time. This is a party, but it's a planning party. So we're actually doing this in real time. So when we're done here in about 20-ish minutes, you can actually have an actionable plan and feel like you can cross something off your list. So we're going to do that. I'm going to invite you to put that right now. And then I want you to grab whatever system you use to plot out your meal plan for the week. So I have my digital calendar, but for my meal plan, I actually use a paper planner that has all of my appointments for the week. And then what I do is in a different color, I plot out in the green here, my dinner prep time. That's what we're going to do right now. And then I have stickers on the bottom where I plot out my meals that I'm going to cook. So you can do you, obviously. The whole point in doing this with you is to create a system that works for you. If you're trying to fit into something that's not conducive to your schedule, it's never going to work. And that's why I encourage you to make it your own. So I have pens, colored pens because I color code everything. I have stickers because that helps me see it easier. Whatever it is you do. So what I'm going to invite you to do now is to, whatever system you use, I'm looking for my green pen, I want you to take the period that you're going to plan for. So like I said, for me, my meal plan is going to go from this Friday to the next Thursday. And we're going to look at our calendars and we're going to see how much time we have to dinner prep each night. So for example, I usually serve dinner around 7 o'clock and I used to like to spend between 30 to 45 minutes, no more than 45 minutes on dinner. So my window for dinner prep is between 6:15 and 7 o'clock. And so I want to look on my calendar, my schedule every day for my meal planning period. What do I have going on in that time period? I might have a meeting from 6 to 6:30. That means I only have 30 minutes for dinner prep. I have a standing appointment on Wednesdays that doesn't get me home until 7:10. So guess what? Dinner has to be done before I leave, and it's just being reheated by my husband. So when I walk in the door, it's already done. So to give you an idea of how to make this work, and you might ask, Stephanie, why are we blocking off the time to prep dinner? Well, that's because you don't want to just take any plan. If you're using our plan, just plug in the recipes to any day, because what if the time it takes to prep them doesn't work for the amount of time you have for that day? That's why meal plans typically don't work for people. You get all excited and you try to use them, and then after a week, you're like, this doesn't work for me. I'm helping you make this actionable so you can actually use the recipes that we give you. So again, if you're using our plan, you can try us for just $1 over at batchcookingclub.com. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and plot out. So just like I showed you before, I'm literally going through and I'm plotting out how much time I have for dinner prep. And then we're going to go and slot in recipes that work for that time period. So I'm just going to do that right now. And it's Mother's Day this Sunday. So I don't know what all of you are planning, but maybe if you're a fellow mama like me, I'm planning not to cook on Mother's Day. So I'm literally doing this with you. I am doing the plan with you. Okay. And I'm going through my calendar and I'm blocking out the same thing that all of you are. Gosh, it's already May 9th next week. How is it like already the second week of May? That's really crazy. So like I've got a full hour on Monday, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I've got a half hour. So hopefully this is helpful to have it doing with you. On Wednesday, I don't have any time. As I mentioned, I'm just running in the door. And this really does help because it takes the thinking out of what to cook, and it takes the thinking out of dinner prep, because this will all be slated into your plan. And then next week, what I love, I consider it like a gift to myself, is I just look down each day and I go, what's for dinner? Oh, right. And so like I'll usually take out anything that's been prepped around lunchtime and let it come to room temperature. And it makes it so much easier, and it lightens the load of dinner and that pressure to like, what am I going to cook? All right. So I'm on Thursday now. And that is, like I said, I go Friday to Thursday. So I'm going to put that down. I actually have full time to prep there. Okay. All right. So now we've got that taken care of. Let's grab this week's plan. And we use a platform called Kajabi. So if you're a member and you're watching, go ahead and you can open up your app and we'll open up this week's plan. Again, if you're not a member, go over to batchcookingclub.com and try us for just $1. So let me tell you, I'm going to first share with you, I'm going to take a sip of wine first. I'm going to share with you what's on the menu. Then I'm going to take you through what you're going to batch cook, and then we'll go through the actual recipes. Now, if you're not a member and you're just following along, you can still get inspiration from the recipes that I'm going to share. And I do have some of these recipes on our blog, so I can guide you to that. But here is the menu. So we've got ginger tofu slaw wraps. We've got chickpea curry burgers. It's burger season almost, right? It's almost Memorial Day. Chipotle black bean sheet pan nachos, one of my favorites. And I love a good sheet pan meal. We've got so many on the website if you're into sheet pan meals. And Cuban style black bean burrito bowls. You're going to batch cook chickpea curry burger patties, the Chipotle black beans, which we're using in both the nachos and the burrito bowls. I love to get more bang for my batch. So a lot of our plans will include a double batch of one recipe that we use in two completely different dinners. So you cook less and you get to eat more. And then we also are doing the Chipotle lime crema for our nachos, cilantro lime rice for our bowls, ginger garlic dressing for those tofu slaw wraps, and mango salsa for the burrito bowls. So you can see how prepping a few things on the weekend is going to exponentially speed up dinner during the week. All right, so let's talk about your batch plan for my members who are following along. You are going to start with preparing your Chipotle black beans. Those need to simmer and thicken up. So you want to get those on the stove. And while those are simmering, you're going to make your rice. And as you know, rice needs a little time to simmer. So while your beans and your rice are simmering, you'll make your chickpea burger patties. If you are not going to serve them that night, I highly recommend that you just refrigerate them or freeze them until you're ready to serve. And then you can just cook them up when you're ready to serve them. It prevents them from drying out, I find. That's my suggestion. Then you'll make your ginger garlic dressing, your mango salsa, and your chipotle lime crema, which are all just kind of countertop quick blender or chopping type recipes. So that whole plan takes about 2 hours. So that's really straightforward, the batch plan for that. Let's jump into the actual dinners and help you figure out, if you're following along, where to plug all these things in. So first off, we've got the Chipotle black bean burrito bowls. This is I love a good bowl recipe. And this is a pretty easy recipe, just 10 minutes, because you've already made your rice, you've already made your beans, and you've already made your salsa. So you're literally reheating everything, you're assembling them, slicing up some avocado. You've got some plantain chips as part of this bowl too, and getting that all ready, some lime wedges, and you're good to go. So I want you to look at your menu, or excuse me, dinner prep time periods that you blocked out. And I want you to look at a day where you don't have a lot of time. So remember I told you on Wednesdays, I'm running in the door at 7:10 and basically everything has to be reheated. This is a perfect meal for me to put in on that day because I literally have everything cooked. My husband just has to reheat it and slice some avocado. And as I'm running through the door, dinner can be ready. And all I had to do was reheat something, or whoever you have at home to reheat. Or if I don't have any help at home to reheat, it'll take about 10 minutes. And that's not too shabby. So that's where I would slate that in. So go ahead, and I want you to actually slate in where you're going to put that meal. And as I mentioned at the start of this, I'm a vegan mama and a non-vegan family. So I always give you ideas for how to make this meal work for everybody. So like I do with most of my meals, they're plant core. All of my meals are plant core. And then I'll have some way to customize it for the non-vegans on the side. So for this one, I'm going to have some sliced roasted chicken or shredded chicken on the side. And then the non-vegans can add that to their bowl. Just only enhances the other ingredients that they have in the bowl. All right. And I am not, that's a one and done meal. I don't have any sides that you need to make for that one or suggest for that, because a bowl is like so all in one comprehensive. Next, we have chickpea curry burgers, and we're suggesting to serve those with our curried sweet potato fries for our members. That recipe is in the library and is super easy to make. It's just going in the oven and roasting for you with some amazing spices and seasonings. And the burgers, and you can actually cook those while the burgers are reheating, or you're cooking up your burgers. So hold on, let me get to the burgers. Chickpea curry burgers. We are going to have 15 minutes to prep and 10 minutes to cook. So these are actually cooked in your skillet. You could also bake them if you wanted, but it's only 10 minutes. So actually you probably need a little bit more time for those sweet potato fries if you're going to make sweet potato fries. And if you are have non-vegans in the family, you can just make a separate batch of the chickpea curry burger patties and just replace the chickpeas in the recipe with some ground chicken or any kind of regular burger patty that you want. So again, 15 minutes to prep, 10 minutes to cook. So this is about 25 minutes of a meal. So I want you to look at your dinner prep plan and see, where did you have 25 minutes for dinner next week, and slot this meal into that time slot. All right, let's move on to Chipotle black bean sheet pan nachos. I love this for Taco Tuesday. I am suggesting that you serve this or actually, this is a one and done meal because it's sheet pan nachos. I'm actually suggest that you serve this straight from the pan. Make them put it in the middle of the table, straight from the sheet pan. Easy cleanup, and everybody can serve their nachos. Have a big plate of nachos for dinner. It's a fun meal idea if you've not served nachos for dinner. And if you have non-vegans, again, have some cooked shredded chicken on the side to add on top of their nachos once they serve them. This is 15 minutes to prep and 5 minutes to cook, 20-minute meal. Slate that in if it's not on Taco Tuesday on a day that you have 20 minutes to get dinner prepped. And you could, by the way, serve this with a salad. I don't know if it's on the blog, but we have a chopped Mexican salad that would be really great as a side as well. But honestly, nachos are so filling and so fun. So I would just make, 2 big sheet pans of this or 1 big sheet pan, depending on how many you're serving. All right. Last but not least, on our dinner recipes, we've got the ginger tofu slaw wraps. That is a new recipe this week, and it's delicious if I do say so myself. 5 minutes to prep, 30 minutes to cook, because you do need to make the tofu. And we're actually preparing the tofu in a really unique, not a unique way, but maybe different than you have had before. It gives it more texture, is you're breaking it apart with your hands in big chunks, and you're baking it for about 30 minutes. Yeah. Until it's golden and crispy. And then we toss it with that garlic ginger dressing that we've already prepped on the weekend. And then that's ready to go. So while the tofu is cooking, you're doing all your other things. You're prepping your slaw. You are getting your wraps together. You're slicing your avocado and herbs. I recommend the slaw is a red cabbage, bell pepper, carrot. Well, actually, there's a lot of stuff in the slaw, but it starts with a cabbage, red and green cabbage, and shredded carrot mix. You could easily swap a coleslaw blend for that part, and then add your bell peppers, your cucumbers, etc., into that if you want to save some time on the chopping. Totally up to you. I like to give you options to simplify if you can. And we also have what was I going to say? Opportunities for different wraps. So you can serve these with their jicama wraps. They've got great jicama wraps at Trader Joe's right now that would be delicious in this. You could use collard greens or romaine lettuce leaves. You could also use butter lettuce leaves, which is what I've done here in this photo. And you can mix up your herbs if you want. I've got basil and cilantro in here as the herbs, fresh herbs, but use whatever you like. The avocado is delish, and you've got your ginger garlic dressing that adds a lot of flavor. So if you've got non-vegans that you're accommodating, I would reserve half of that ginger garlic dressing and toss chicken strips. Cook up some chicken strips and toss chicken strips with some of that. Not half, actually. You need a couple tablespoons to probably coat that. So you can replace the tofu with some chicken strips and just have 2 different proteins, which is something I do all the time. I will have my plant corn meal, and then I will just add in a different animal protein for the rest of the family that my husband will cook for them if they want the non-vegan protein. So completely up to you. So that's that. And I think that does it. Any questions, reach out to me at hello@batchcookingclub.com, but slate that last one into your meal plan here, and you should have 4 days planned. Now you're asking, well, what about the other 3 days, Stephanie? So let me tell you what I do. I always, as I mentioned before, include a day for leftovers. For me, I plug that in to the day that I'm meal planning so that it gives me a chance to clean out the fridge, do an assessment of my pantry and the fridge of what needs to be used up so that when I do my grocery list later that night, I've already got that in my head. So Thursday is usually a leftover night for me. I also always do a takeout or dine out night, bring in night. And that's usually on Saturdays, usually like my date night with my husband, or it's like a family night and we're bringing in, but Stephanie doesn't cook that night. And last but not least, Friday is my day where I cook somebody else's recipe. I go to the store on Fridays, as I mentioned, and then I don't put a limit on myself for dinner. I'm not I let myself kind of have freedom to come home from the store, put everything away, pour a glass of wine, put on the music, and leisurely and casually make a meal. And it's just a Friday night meal, super casual, but something that I'm maybe a cookbook that I'm want to try out, or a recipe I saw in a magazine or a blog that I want to try out. That's what I reserve Friday for. And then for Tuesdays, I always use a placeholder as Taco Tuesday. That is a repeat meal every week. I highly encourage you, if you're struggling with where do I fit in and slot into the other days, think about the meals that your family likes. Is it pasta? Is it an Italian night that you can do every week? And you can either do the same recipe or you can rotate different recipes. Like with Taco Tuesday, you can do the same tacos every Tuesday, or you can change out different taco recipes, but it's always tacos. So I highly, highly recommend that. Oh, hey, Marsha, glad that you like the menu. So yeah, so that's a recommendation of mine. For me, it's Taco Tuesday. I do it every week, and it's one night I don't have to think about, and it's the same recipe. The nacho recipe is a great stand-in this week if you do a Taco Tuesday and want to put that in there, or the burrito bowls, you could swap that in on your Taco Tuesday night if you're mixing it up. So there you have it. I hope, and look, under 20 minutes, just about 20 minutes, we've got our menu planned for the week. We've got our prep handled, and we don't have to think about it until we go do our prep. And then after that, we just check in every day and we're like, oh, yep, that's right. That's what's for dinner. Let me take it out of the fridge and get going. So I wish you a delicious week. Reach out to me again in the comments if you have questions, or you can always reach out at hello@batchcookingclub.com. And if you're new to us, again, check us out at batchcookingclub.com for just $1. Have a great week, everybody.